So I've only been on YouTube for about 2 months now. One of the things that surprised me is the amount of Dragon Ball fans on there that have watched Dragon Ball Z but never got around to seeing Dragon Ball, or at least, the majority of Dragon Ball. And I understand that some people saw it in bits and pieces, of course. I completely understand. And I also have come to terms with the fact that a lot of people who watch my YouTube videos are very young. And sometimes when you're young, you don't have a lot of money to buy the blue bricks and to buy the DVDs. And I totally understand that, because guess what? We've all been there. So with this video, I'm going to show you how you can watch Dragon Ball start to finish, both dubbed and subtitled, absolutely free and absolutely 100% legal. Now, obviously, there are YouTube channels and places you can go to get Dragon Ball online. Again, using different methods, which I'm not going to outline here, but this method is kind of the legal and correct way to do it if you're going to do it. And the beautiful thing about it is, like I said, you can watch it both dubbed and subtitled. Head over to hulu.com/dragon-ball. That's hulu.com/dragon-ball. Now, before I continue, I must apologize if there are any people watching this video who are unable to go to hulu.com because perhaps it's being blocked in, their country for whatever reason. I do apologize if you're unable to get to this site, but most people in North America who are watching this video, hulu.com/dragon-ball. So when you get to the site there, if you scroll down, you will then see every single episode of Dragon Ball. All 153 episodes. You can watch the entire series, start to finish, dubbed and subtitled. Now, obviously, I'm always going to recommend watching the subtitled version. However, I will say that the Dragon Ball dub, by the time that Funimation got around to dubbing Dragon Ball in, I believe it was the early 2000s, like 2002, I want to say, the direction in the company had already shifted, so there are a lot less script changes. However, a lot of the perverted adult humor has been removed from the dubbed version. So if you want to watch the real authentic Dragon Ball, you got to check it out subtitled. Not to mention that in the dub, for some reason, I kind of understand, some of the music has been slightly modified. Not the background music, but for example, some of the fight scenes that use the actual, songs that were sung vocally, the insert songs as they call them, those have been modified. So I do highly recommend watching it subtitled, start to finish. If those of you guys who have never seen it, or maybe you were kind of too young when it first came out on Cartoon Network, or maybe you caught the tail end of it. There's lots of different reasons. This is the best way to watch it, 100% legal, unless you go out and you buy the DVDs, obviously. Now, another thing that you should be aware of too is, while Hulu is 100% free, if you have a subscription to Hulu Plus, you can stream the show to your television or to your console or whatever, to your tablet. That is part of the Hulu Plus package. Now, if you do not have Hulu Plus and you don't want to pay for it, I totally understand. There are many, many different ways of streaming this to your television. If you have a Chromecast, if you have an HDMI cable, you can plug right into your TV. A lot of you guys out there are gamers, and you hook your stuff up to your TV. That's fine. There's a ton of different ways to do it. The only catch with using Hulu to watch Dragon Ball is you're going to get some ads, and it's like a commercial break, like watching it on TV. But the quality's pretty good. I would say, compared to the Dragon Boxes, it's still pretty good. Like, the Dragon Boxes are about an A+, and this is about a A-, so it's still very watchable. Now, many of you are wondering, where do I watch Dragon Ball Z? Well, the problem with Dragon Ball Z is that Dragon Ball Z on Hulu is missing tons of episodes. They have the entire Vegeta saga, they have they have the whole Namek saga, and then a little bit of the Frieza saga, about 20 episodes or so, and then it just ends. And watching Dragon Ball Z on Hulu is extremely frustrating because, again, the good thing is you get both the dub and the sub, so you can switch back and forth and kind of compare them, or just watch one. It's fine. No big deal. But the problem is that they rotate episodes. A few months ago, the only episodes you can get were the Vegeta saga and like 15 random Majin Buu episodes. It's very difficult to watch it on Hulu. Very, very difficult. Now, some folks have recommended going to certain websites. The one that I am most familiar with is dbz.tv. I'm going to advise against watching it on there. The reason being is because on dbz.tv, I know a lot of you guys have watched it on there, and that's fine, but I will advise against it because the episodes they have on there are the very, very awkward and strange 2000 numbering system where, you had the original Ocean dubbed Dragon Ball episodes, but you also had like the Funimation original dub before they went back and fixed their mistakes. So you're watching the Ocean dub, which was heavily edited, which is, it took 67 episodes and cut them down to 53. You're not seeing the real show at all. I mean, you're missing whole chunks of episodes, and in some cases, entire episodes. That's not the right way to watch it. I know most of you guys who are watching this YouTube channel already saw Dragon Ball Z probably a million times, but I'm sure there's some folks who are new to Dragon Ball and kind of want to watch it, and I totally respect that. Do not watch it on DragonBallZ.tv. Now, Dragon Ball Z Kai is there, which you can watch that. I mean, that's fine, and I do recommend watching it. The best thing you could do, honestly, is probably just go to YouTube and punch it in. However, Dragon Ball Z episode 001 or whatever. The problem is that you're going to run into, like, things where you'll have, like, the screen kind of be, like, scrunched in with, like, that border, which is really annoying. But they do that to avoid, being taken down by Fox and Toei and Funimation. So that's neither here nor there. There's places online you can watch Dragon Ball. Just be very careful. Of course, you can always sign up for the Funimation.com, which is kind of like the Funimation version of Netflix. That's fine. But again, this video is mostly targeted for folks who have seen Dragon Ball Z and never had a chance to go back and watch Dragon Ball. And please understand this. And if you're subscribed to the channel, you know that I'm not going to BS you around. Dragon Ball, there's a lot of misconceptions about Dragon Ball from Dragon Ball Z fans. A lot of them think the whole show is just comedy. There is a little bit more comedy in Dragon Ball, but the action kicks in real good right when you get to the 21st Tenkaichi Budokai, the tournament saga. When you get there, you'll see the Dragon Ball Z coming in, especially by the time you get to the Piccolo saga. You'll see it kind of fade into Dragon Ball Z. Just don't sleep on Dragon Ball, guys. You got to watch the whole thing. And like I've said a million times before, if you've only seen Dragon Ball Z and not Dragon Ball, you're only getting part of the story. When the manga came out, the whole thing was Dragon Ball volumes 1 through 16, and then when Z came out, I think it was 17 or maybe 17 to 42. But just understand that in the manga, it was all Dragon Ball. There was no Z, so it's all one big story, and you're missing part of the story if you haven't seen it. So again, check it out. This is the safe, legal way to do it. The other, free, safe, legal way to do it. There are other ways to do it. I don't want to say illegal, but I guess you can say unethical. I don't really know what word to use, but and of course you can always sign up for Funimation's packages because they'll do that for you as well, but that you have to pay for. This is mostly for people who, like I said, they don't have the income right now to afford to be able to watch Dragon Ball, and they also are fans and maybe they haven't seen it in a while. I think that's the best way to watch it. Plus, this is a great opportunity to watch it subtitled the way it was meant to be watched in the original language, so you can really see how the show is. It'll probably give you a new perspective. So, thank you for watching the video. I hope I helped out, and I hope y'all enjoy Dragon Ball.